line of the Commonwealth Bank Trophy is the local derby at Etsa Park, the Thunderbirds taking on the Ravens. Hello, I'm Steve Rebellion for ABC Sport. Welcome to Adelaide for the match between the teams lying first and fourth. Well, back in round two in the corresponding game, the Thunderbirds won by 7, but things aren't so certain tonight. Several players are coming off a torrid tour of New Zealand. Others have had a fortnight's break. Nevertheless, we probably should grant favouritism and to the Thunderbirds.
I'm sure the Ravens would like to think otherwise. And you look back at that first round result between the two teams, the Ravens actually led for more than half the game. So they'll draw strength from that, and they'll try and discard the fact that they have 2 senior reps as opposed to the 5 the Thunderbirds have. It's very hard to go past the Thunderbirds. They're a calibre team and they're in great form, and I think they're going from strength to strength. And the other thing they have in their favour is the return of Jackie Delaney. She wasn't in the mix in round 1. She'll be there tonight, and she's getting better and better with each match. I think you have to go with the Thunderbirds.
Let's look at the teams. And up front for the Thunderbirds, it's the accurate and deceptive Purser and Delaney. And with Alison Tucker injured, it'll be Amy Roberts and Sally Browning opposing them. The midcourt of Sanders, Hodge and Squire has been looking very smart of late and will need to be to run with Henderson, Grant and Cobb. Kath Harvey will be a little leg weary after New Zealand, but will no doubt find something for this important game. And of course she's partnered by Sarah Sutter. The starting goalers for the Ravens, Colbeck and captain Jenny Borlays.
Well, the tour of New Zealand was a long one, a successful one, but certainly an enjoyable one, and it's hard to believe that I'm back here playing for the Thunderbirds in the Commonwealth Bank Trophy, but it's a game I'm looking forward to. The Thunderbirds want to be known as the #1 team in Adelaide, and we'll be looking at doing that tonight.
Obviously it's a tough tour in New Zealand, but we came away feeling like we've done a good job, and so consequently I'm feeling really good about tonight's game. Feeling quite fresh actually with a couple of days off, and it's going to be a tough game against the Thunderbirds, a local derby, and I'm sure we're going to have an enthusiastic crowd, and the players themselves are also very pumped and ready to go.
Just about set, Adelaide Thunderbirds, and the slightly unfamiliar scene of Alex Hodge about to take the centre pass. Used to her at wing attack, and a heavy clash immediately between Delaney and Grant, but it's Purser to put up the first shot. And back in round 2, 52-45 to the Thunderbirds. So over the last 12 months, they've been inching closer, Anne.
Yes, the Ravens have had a fine season this year under Pat Micken as they quickly keep pace with the Thunderbirds. In fact, in round 1, they led for the first half of the game, 14-11 at the first quarter break and 28-26 at half-time. And it really wasn't until the Thunderbirds made some mid-court changes and some changes in shooting that they started to establish dominance. And that's perhaps why they've started with Sanders at wing attack and Hodge at centre for this one.
Browning has it. Straight up the middle to Borlays, into the corner for Cobb. And Borlays back out to Colbeck. So a good even start. Kath Harvey in the local paper today had a fair bit to say, or this week at least, a fair bit to say about what happened in New Zealand with team selections, whether it's the correct selection policy in her view. She's happy to disagree with Jill McIntosh, which is a bold move, I suppose.
Well, I'm sure a few of the senior players feel that way. Jill McIntosh has, since her reign as coach, been very confident in exploring the depth of talent in the Australian squad and mixing up the starting 7. Her idea being if she doesn't test them, she won't know what they can offer. And of course, there is a lot of talent coming from the youngsters, and McIntosh has supported them and given them opportunities where perhaps in bygone eras the starting 7 was less flexible. Captains were always on court, and senior players sat their positions quite strongly, and players like Harvey perhaps had to sit a bit of time on the bench till they got the break. Now that they're the senior players, they're not as happy to share it around, and I guess I can understand both sides of the argument.
I think there's weight to both sides.
Yeah.
Delaney.
That was a sweet move from the Thunderbirds.
11-9, the favourites lead, but they're not to be shaken off, the Ravens. Delaney plants one over the top for the agile Purser.
Yeah, Roberts caught a little too fixed on the front position and not able to get the feet moving and adjust and take the side.
Great crowd in here tonight. I'd say it's the best crowd we've had at Etsa Park, well, by some margin. So they do like this match. We were a little disappointed back in round 2 when we couldn't fill the place, but we just about have tonight.
I think, too, the spectators are starting to warm to the competition. It catches a few of them a bit early in the season, and now that they're out about themselves in their competitions of a Saturday, they're well aware of how well-placed both Adelaide teams are, both contenders for the playoffs. Oh, Purser nails it. Purser with 7 from 10. Flipped a little inaccuracy, but shots like that certainly nudge it up, and placement of the ball like that. Delaney picking Purser up right under the post.
Well, Amy Roberts is not coping too well with the agility of Purser and the position she's taking up.
No, Roberts just a little body bound, needs to come off Purser and not be so tightly held. Oh, bad luck.
Good try. Do like the placement of the passes from Harvey that really had Squire on the run. Just put it in front of her. Roberts, Henderson, Cobb. Oh, no, it's not going to be. It's a touch from Hodge. Harvey, Delaney, Hodge again. They look good coming down court until they do that. Roberts says, let's go the other way. Oh, no. That's a Hail Mary pass, and it was all Sutters. And just about out of time at a scrappy ending to the first quarter, end-to-end stuff, just to test their fitness. But it's the Thunderbirds with a handy margin at the first break. They lead the Ravens 14-9. So it's 5 the lead for the Thunderbirds as they begin the second quarter. Purser, one-handed take, a good one.
Oh, well read by Danny Grant, who came off a feeding position at the top of the circle.
Henderson, Browning, stuck for an option till Cobb moved. Ball lays, Sutter right with her.
And she's under fierce pressure from Sarah Sutter. A lot of the work being done behind the body, and ball lays, walks it in, and she's been reading the rule book, has Joni Hodson.
Well, I feel for her, just as we felt for Sharon Burge in New Zealand, the Australian umpiring over there. It was quite a drama to be caught in the middle of, but they handled themselves well, as did the players. And it'll sort itself out. Harvey, Sutter. Harvey has been playing under Marg Ango for over a decade, and they know each other very well. And Harvey says that Marg Ango still is able to motivate her, and that's really a huge recommendation after playing so long together, that they still have that much respect for each other and really help each other's careers.
Yes, I noticed that in the article in today's paper that whilst all the raps are on Harvey, she did pay a lot of respect to Margaret Angove, and it is a good rap if you can still step out and be inspired after 13 years under the same coach.
And Marg Angove looking pretty pleased with the 16-10 scoreline. They really didn't take the lead in their first clash until three-quarter time, and they led by 1 and then kicked it home to win by 7.
Colbeck has been quietened down by Kath Harvey, and Borlay's forced to do far more work than she should have to get the ball. The Ravens shooter under a bit of pressure. It's just not happening in front of her.
8 from 10 for Borlays. Sanders, straight at Henderson, and lucky to get it back. Purser. Kept in by Browning. Roberts has it. And Browning. Henderson. Grant. Big ball. Cobb. Oh,
Cobb to Sargent.
Thunderbirds. Yeah, just there. Yeah, halfway, thank you.
Sutter. Harvey. Hodge. Squire. Delaney to Sanders. Hodge runs it down. Delaney. Serish. 8 from 11, Jackie Delaney. Danny Grant signals number 1 in the air as a move off the centre pass.
Borlay is trying desperately to get the run onto the post, and it halts momentarily, but eventually comes through for her. Borlay is really working hard in the Ravens attack.
Can't do it all on her own. Delaney. Hodge. Sanders back to Purser. What a shoot from there.
Roberts' agility and speed found lacking then as Purser quickly switches the move and then puts a sweet shot through.
Colbeck has it. Now Cobb. Borlase back across, swings it to Grant, and Borlase finds herself open. What happened there, eh?
Colbeck had made the run to the post, so Harvey inside a sag back on the shooter closest to the post, as you would.
Harvey.
Always make the one furthest from the post take the shot. Although in case of Borlase, she's likely to get it.
Well, Jenny Borlase played the second test in Wellington and had a screamer. She shot about 85–90%.
And I guess that's why some of the senior players have difficulty in watching the lineups rotate when you put in. I mean, Vicky Wilson only missed one shot in the first test and ended up on the bench for the second. It's hardly reward for good effort.
Henderson
comes through, trips
over Delaney's
Sanders.
foot. Well, Delaney's foot, I think she caught. She's between the two. Borlase, Colbeck just cannot shake off Harvey. Now it's Borlase again. Colbeck can't get a sniff.
Brings up number 12 for Borlase, just the two misses.
Harvey's doing to Colbeck what she did to Belinda Colling in the series in New Zealand. She kept the New Zealand skipper very quiet for 3 matches.
Well, had Teresa Tahiri not injured herself, it would have forced an interesting decision for Yvonne Willering, but with Tahiri's injury, Colling got the start and put in her best performance in that third test.
Grant with the centre pass, 21-15, the lead is 6, it was 5 at quarter time.
Borlase glancing across to Joan Hodgson, I think ruining the fact that Sanders putting in some heavy-duty contacts, or contests, I should say, from behind the body. And on the next move, Borlase was penalised, so she's regretting the lead-up work.
Joan Hodgson sort of going back to her original decision, and Borlase questioning why she was out of play.
Oh, nice take from Delaney, full stretch, and nails the shot. 10 from 14 for Jackie Delaney.
Hodge, Harvey. Delaney to Purser, but Roberts, oh, that was a 50-50 ball. Purser. 23-15, halfway through the second, and it doesn't look good for the Ravens. Red is the call from Danny Grant this time. They've got numbers and colours. It's like watching a line-out call.
Hands letting Sally Browning down on a couple of occasions. Just started on that last one too, and it's very hard for the Ravens to make any ground. Such is the pressure from the Thunderbirds.
Cobb.
Very congested at the top of the circle. Grant not freeing up any space.
Oh, Harvey. They had 2-on-1 in the circle, did the Ravens, and still it's the Thunderbirds who come away with it. Delaney, Purser. This is going to hurt.
Oh, beautiful work from the Thunderbirds defence, and how pretty do they look down court when they're in full flight. Purser at full stretch, hauls it in, steadies. It's a swisher.
But you've got to give the credit down court to Kath Harvey. Cobb to Browning. Henderson giving everything. They're just struggling. Oh, Harvey swoops out again. Jenny Borlase, the Ravens captain, throws her head back. Delaney. And once more, the Ravens are hurt with a costly turnover. 25-15, 5:40 left on the clock, second quarter. Grant looks for the quick route up court. Cobb and Hodge, rivals at the same club last year. Colbeck still can't get a touch. And Harvey's giving her a bath at the moment.
Yes,
Squire.
Colbeck's well and truly been silenced by the brilliance of Kath Harvey. I think that's why it's so frustrating for Jenny Borlase to be at the back of that. Makes life difficult for her.
Cobb, Browning. This time Harvey draws the whistle. And Cobb marches it to the middle.
Goalkeeper, you're holding in front of the circle. Penalty pass or shot? No, back further. Thank you. Yep.
Borlase. They needed that one, and they need some more.
That's good composure, though, from Jenny Borlase. It's been difficult up the front for a while, yet she can take the shot and put it through without difficulty. 13 shots for Borlase from 15, so strong work from her.
Purser.
Who replies with 15 from 19. So 78% for Sharon Purser, 73% for Jackie Delaney, and they've been sharing the workload in goals. So the sign's good for the Adelaide Thunderbirds.
And those two shooters, Purser and Delaney, are close to their season averages. Purser 81% coming into this game, Delaney 75. Delaney and Browning. Henderson, Cobb, Colbeck, Grant. Look at fierce determination on her face. And Squire says, I'll have that. It was too big a ball for Cobb.
And now they have the numbers with Browning caught down in the Thunderbirds' defence end.
Delaney. And this sizzling stuff from the Thunderbirds. They're just too good at the moment defensively. Down court, and their goalers are doing the job too. So Hodge to Sanders. I think they do lose a little bit with Hodge and Sanders in the reverse positions, Anne, but not too much.
No, I prefer to see Sanders through the centre as well, but if they wanted
it's just for this match, isn't it, really?
Yeah, and the change of pattern isn't reflected on the scoreboard. It's the defence that's working overtime for the Thunderbirds. They really have shut down the spaces, and Borlase is just struggling to find any free space. She works harder then and comes up with the goal, but I tell you what, she's running a few Ks just to get possession.
Colbeck to Cobb.
Oh, Harvey running in, calls the switch, pushes Sutter over to pick up Colbeck, and they get the tap, so it's all falling for the Thunderbirds.
Hodge, they're pretty crowded on this side. That opens it up. Harvey. Sanders. 2:30 to go in the second. And it's a Thunderbirds quarter, this one, as Purser adds one more. Her customary accuracy, 16 from 20.
And the beauty of the Thunderbirds' attacking play is that it has loads of speed, but they always have an option. So even when they go to offload, if something happens, there's someone else backing it up.
Well, I don't think you have to be too good a lip reader to pick up "Well done, Jackie" out of the lips of Karen Purser. It was a fine pass and a bullet-like one. Ravens, what can they do? Colbeck. Cobb.
Sarah Sutter working overtime on Borlase, had a hemmed under the post, finally opens up just on 3 seconds for her.
Can't question the game of Borlase, 15 from 18.
Now that's great shooting under a great deal of pressure.
Hodge to Delaney. Henderson picks up a loose one. Roberts to Grant. Henderson to Browning.
Really having difficulty picking up Colbeck are the Ravens, and she's pretty well out of the game. They're playing with 6. Sutter businesslike in this match.
Colbeck finally gets to put up a shot.
And that's her 4th for the match, so just the 1 miss for Anna Colbeck, but possession, a rare thing for her.
The option would be to perhaps put Huppets on, and I can't see her on the bench. I think she's up having a run somewhere. Fiona Huppets, the substitute goaler, available to Pat Micken. So perhaps after half-time. Last minute, second quarter. Borlase, plenty of time. No sign of the timekeeper yet. Can they keep the Thunderbirds from scoring another? And re-establishing a 10-goal lead.
2-on-1 on Purser gives Delaney the room to put the move on.
No panic from the Thunderbirds. And they've done all right. They have the Ravens. A miss from Purser. And they can come down court with the ball, but now they probably haven't got enough time themselves to score the Ravens. Henderson, Cobb.
Need to go straight to Borlase, and that's what they try to do, but Sutter watching it and reading it well.
Yes, they knew that had to be done. They saw the timekeeper get up, and Joan Hodson now signals half-time. And the Thunderbirds very much in control. Ravens with a lot to do as they look at a 29-20 half-time score. Well, we've been talking about umpires, and Sharon Burge has just returned from umpiring the Trans-Tasman Series in New Zealand, where she was forced to make some tough on-court choices. As one of Australia's best netball umpires, she was up to the task of appearing on the international stage.
The attraction is, it's something I suppose that I was good at, so that's always a plus. So you go along with it a bit more than if you're not any good, you know, no good at it at all. So the helping of the players, yeah, the interaction with the players is very important, and you're just meeting people, and it's been really good.
So do umpires get nervous like the players do before a match?
Yeah, definitely get nervous, but that's all good. That's part of the adrenaline pumping, gets your mind going a little bit quicker. Yeah, there is pressure. I think we put pressure on ourselves as well. We're out there to perform as well as we can for the players, and so that the players can play competitively to the best of their ability in a fair manner. So yeah, there is pressure, but I think we put pressure on ourselves as well, which is not a bad thing.
What's the hardest part about umpiring?
There's lots of hard little parts. Probably putting it all together in one package. So being able to, as players, I suppose, as well, being able to put the fitness and the mental condition and the technical side of all the rules and applying it all in one package so that then it hits well on a game. So, yeah, that's just putting it all together.
How hard is it for an umpire to stay impartial?
It is hard, but I believe that we've all been trained very well in a very professional way by Netball Australia, by umpiring grading endorsement committee, and it is hard to stay away, that step away, but it's also very important to be a real person and to interact with the players. So that there is a fine line, but no, we get by.
The season's well and truly underway. How's it been going for you?
The season's been good, yeah. It's right underway now. It's sort of like going fast, you know, a lot faster, I think, than last year. Or first year in was sort of a bit of a shell shock, but this year we've sort of settled into it a little bit more. So yeah, going along quite nicely.
What are your goals for the future?
As far as umpiring goes, I think just taking every week just work on particular things each week. Of course, to just try and keep performing and, yeah, you know, get those good games.
Third quarter begins. Danny Grant in possession for the Ravens. Let's see what they can do as, fittingly, Harvey gets an early touch. Can't keep it in. Borlase. And Fiona Huppets is on, but couldn't get a look at that one. Huppets replacing Colbeck. Borlase is coming out to goal attack. Hodge and Sanders have swapped back to their more usual positions. So
We can
Hodge
well
at wing attack.
understand the change in the Ravens camp. Borlase was starved of possession and having to come out far too deep and work too hard to get possession. Moving it down court gives them more access to the ball and the chance to create more opportunities and control attack.
Grant, had the toe over the line, and Joan Hodson did see that. Watch
High ball
the foot.
to Grant.
There.
Oh, didn't look over to me.
It's actually, I went a bit further than that replay suggested. The right call was made. I was quite sure it was out. We got a good view down the line.
So we have the ability to freeze the frame when we want, and it's the angle of the shoe. That'll teach us to do that, won't it?
I think Danny Grant knew she was out. Roberts. Browning. Here's Borlase.
Hubbard's just waiting back in the circle, allowing the play to come down, not offering a move, just altering her position on hold. But it comes undone before it gets to her.
Sutter sets herself. Harvey helps out. Obstruction goal attack she is these days, not shooter. Jenny Borlase has changed bib. Sometimes the umpires are in a mindset and catch up with the changes. Doesn't matter, the right call was made.
Slammed down by Danny Grant. That'll be a nice battle, Grant and Sanders. As will that one, Borlase and Kath Harvey, well accustomed to each other. As Kath Harvey really joins the commentary team. Time called by Alex Hodge. Lost a shoe.
Yeah, Henderson and Hodge sharing the same floor space. Really do get the feeling that Alex Hodge as a player has just improved about the 25–30% this year, and she was coming along nicely last year, and she's right up there with the best now.
Well, there were big raps on her last year. I remember the whispers around the court suggesting she was in line for the Australian 21s and was a player of leadership as well. Well, she's earned that. She's now captain of the Australian 21 and under team, and they'll have a touch of New Zealand in a couple of weeks here in Australia. And I think she's really risen through this Thunderbirds line, enjoying the combination with Sanders.
Here's Henderson, Cobb. Or Borlase does not get it. Or contact against Delaney. There wasn't much in that.
Hubbart's really working the hold, and there goes up the arm. So she's patient, waiting for the ball to be worked around and then to be delivered to her. That's perhaps been the plan. Sit back, let the others do the attacking work.
100%. Way to go. Keep those stats, Fiona. 1 from 1. Or it looked like Grant's ball. And it's going to be a toss.
Thank you.
Joan Hodson setting it. Roberts to Henderson. Browning to Grant. Borlase covering a lot of territory. Oh!
Yeah, Grant a little slow to release it to Borlase, and that put her under pressure. I think Grant thought twice about the Harvey train. Harvey put to the ground by Borlase.
Just watching everything that's going on off the ball. Hubbart's second shot.
And still 100% for Fiona Hubbarts, who's opened well for the Ravens. And you just see there Borlase shake off Harvey, who hits the deck, stays down but a moment.
Cobb. If this one goes in, it'll be a nice start to the quarter for Ravens. It doesn't, but I think Borlase might get this one. She does. She had position. And I think there are more Ravens supporters here than Thunderbirds. They're looking for a comeback, and they've got the start of a one at least. They've scored the first 3, third quarter. Sanders to Hodge. Delaney. Hodge to Purser. This will go up and not quite in.
Well, it was a neat approach to the circle, but lacked the finish. They might get away with it yet.
Well, Browning's been unlucky.
Stretching goalkeeper, Finley pass the shot.
And Delaney strolls across.
And casual as you like, Jackie Delaney puts up her 13th goal of the match.
Borlase. Delaney. A scrappy one, and they're undoing some of their good early work, the Ravens. Purser. Sanders. Hopping in is, it wasn't a hop, of course, but you know what I mean. Delaney.
Put a jump on at the end of the move just to gain some valuable ground. Harvey always. Borlase puts the arm up to defend, but the elbow collects Harvey's head. And you'll just see here as Borlase leads with the elbow. It's a clumsy challenge from the Ravens' goal attack. And looked
good.
A little ugly.
And normal speed and replay did not look too good. Grant. Cobb. Hubbarts. Colbeck. And Sutter.
Loose ball from Fiona Hubbard, and needed to be held and allow play to restart.
They're back in their winning rhythm, I think. Thunderbirds.
And the drive down court, pretty from Squire and Sanders. Goes cross court to find the post open for Delaney. So tidy work from the Thunderbirds.
One at the other end, Hupperts, and she's 3 from 4. Oh, Purser, where were they?
Well, Roberts decided she'd snip around the edge of the circle for the intercept, but didn't have the speed, and I think wasn't really considering that she'd left Purser alone. A deadly thing to do.
But they've answered at the other end. Borlase now 18 from 22.
It's a good quarter from the Ravens. It could well have opened up on them, and they've stayed in the contest as Roberts hauls in an intercept. Better work from her then.
They need to treasure this one. Browning has it slapped out of her hands by Delaney.
Just a little.
Too late,
from Plummer, too late.
Just reminding her that she's
pretty obvious.
She's got an eye on her. Oh, and Colbeck. Sorry, not Colbeck, Hupperts.
Oh, that hurt. That's where the rule really hurts, and the players don't enjoy the new rule that allows the attacking player to walk right across the court, and in that case put her right in front of the post.
7 the lead for the Thunderbirds. Hupperts to Grant.
And the drive from Hupperts then opens up Borlase nicely under the post, working better for the Ravens.
Well, they're not taking much out of the lead, but they are scoring more regularly on their own possession. So Purser.
Building pressure, though, and you can see that it's disrupting the fluency with which the Thunderbirds are playing, and that's great work from the Ravens.
Oh, that's worked out nicely. Hupperts, they need this one, and
yes,
she doesn't disappoint.
That's her 5th, 5 from 6, so she's opened well from half-time. It's Browning that comes through, perhaps taking Delaney with her, but she gets away with it, and she puts the Ravens into attack.
Delaney's all right. Grant to Browning. Cobb. Hupperts. Cross court. Who got a touch on that? It's Ravens' possession.
Borlase pushing Hupperts in the back, directing her.
Look at those 4 players. You throw a hanky over them. Hupperts has lost the bib. Hope they don't slip on it.
Prue Plummer's noticed the positional bib, and it'll now be replaced.
It'll go on Hupperts. Now Borlase can take the shot.
Oh.
And Harvey can take the rebound. On they go. So that was to reduce it to 4. Couldn't quite. Delaney. Delaney checks herself, puts herself in the right position. They can take it back out to 7, the Thunderbirds, if they convert here. Delaney.
That was a costly miss from Jenny Borlase, that break to bring it back to 4. You know, people talk about no pass being more important than another and no miss. It does. It changes the whole balance of the game, and that just pushed it out again on them.
Cobb. Hupperts. Oh, I thought they had 2-on-1 on Borlase, which opened it up for Hupperts, but Sutter was so quickly back. She creates pressure again and again.
Huppert's lucky that the Ravens still hold possession. She should have cherished it and gone to the post with the shot. She has the chance now. Still just the 1 miss, 6 from 7 for Fiona Hupperts, and while she may have made a few errors on the court, she's been good in goals for them. Another chance now for the Ravens as Roberts comes down with the rebound.
Henderson.
Borlase is at the back of the centre third, screaming.
Amy Roberts has taken 7 rebounds. Far and away the best in that stat.
And Sutter forces a way through Hupperts and off the side, but it's a Ravens throw-in.
Good goal to get this one for the Ravens.
2-on-1 with Harvey out of play. Sutter will know to keep moving. She allows the shooter furthest from the post to take the shot. Makes no difference.
Hupperts gives the left hand a bit of a shake, and she's 7 from 8. 5 the difference. Can they get it back to 4?
Well, back where we were a couple of moments ago.
distraction wing.
And quite a recovery from the Ravens. This is an important one, and Borlase doesn't make a mistake this time. Brings up number 20 for Jenny Borlase.
Just sowing the seeds of doubt in the minds of the Thunderbirds players. They thought they had this wrapped up at half-time at 29-20. The Ravens, a couple of changes. Oh, they're so cruel, isn't it?
It's just heartbreaking.
I'll just walk that in. I'll take that goal. And the story of the match, 14-9 at quarter time. The Thunderbirds led it, and then 29-20. They led by 5 and then 9. The lead now is 5.
And a 3-second call against Danny Grant lets them off the hook. Jenny Borlase. I'll let Prue Plummer tell the story. That's a warning against Australian shooter Jenny Borlase, who slammed the ball down. Didn't like the 3-second call against her centre.
Now it's Delaney, Sanders.
Just to get back to that rule, Steve, that allows you to walk the ball across sideline to sideline, it really makes an Amy Roberts think twice. She'd put in all that hard work in defence, and it makes you think next time, well, maybe I should sit back off her and not sacrifice the easy shot.
Hodge, Delaney, Purser.
With the ball, keeper, Philly pass or shot.
And Purser walks it into her favourite position.
Roberts trying to indicate that she felt she'd taken position and that Purser had brought the ball up into her stance.
20 from 29 for Sharon Purser and 20 of the 38. So she's really only shooting about 70%. But they've got enough possession. The Ravens have turned it over too many times, 14-9.
Well, Hubbart's in fine form in goals, brings up her 8th for just 1 miss. So Pat Micken has pulled the right reins in attack for the Ravens.
Delaney, Sanders, Purser.
That's against Purser. Roberts is putting in better work in this quarter, and it's paying dividends for the young Ravens keeper.
Grant, Browning, Cobb. Hard work through the middle for the Ravens. Now Hubbarts. Now Cobb. Now Borlase. Long-range shot is good.
Not a problem for the Australian shooter. 21 on the board for Borlase.
The Ravens have kept this match alive. And we're in for an interesting last quarter, which isn't far away. Just under 2 left in the third.
Borlase screaming for attention. Hubbard switches it across court to Cobb, but Borlase on the far side of the court was screaming.
Now that was obviously a mistake there, because that came off Ravens' hands last, and the throw-in was given to the Ravens. Interesting replay, that one, so the umpires can get it wrong.
Oh, too easy over the top to Purser. She makes them pay for the comfort zone and nudges it out to 5.
Borlase.
Hubbart's on hold.
No.
Doesn't make the throw-in mistake twice. Thunderbirds in possession.
Sutter, Squire. And Henderson says, I'll have that.
Better mid-court pressure from the Ravens.
On the money, that pass from Cobb to Borlase, but Sutter is there. Borlase giving away a fair few penalties.
It's just about to say she's almost frantic in this game. She's trying so hard, and it's not composure that's happening on court.
Delaney. Hands up, can't stop her. And she's 19 from 23. Fine performance from her.
Borlase just having a word to Cobb in back play to drive and hit the circle, hit the corner. And I think Cobb was trying to indicate that she's trying to.
They're all trying. Delaney short, and Browning says, I'll have it.
Thought Browning wasn't going to move. Fell into a lap. Less than a minute left. The timekeeper's up and about to chase Joan Hodson. Needs to put it up. Oh, Harvey goes off
furious, and it's a pretty physical affair, as it usually is between the Adelaide teams. And it's the Thunderbirds only by 6. The Ravens are still in this. It's 40-34. So onto the court they come. Ready for a fast and furious final 15. Danny Grant in possession for the Ravens finds Cobb. And so it's Cassie Mogg on for Sharon Purser for the Thunderbirds. Purser shot 21 from 30 for those 3 quarters.
Just looking at the shooting stats for the match to date for the Thunderbirds, Sharon Purser, as you said, had put up 21 from 30 at 70%. Just down, she was about 85% when they met in round 1. Jackie Delaney on target with 79%, 19 from 24. For the Ravens, the 8 from 9 refers to Fiona Hubbards, who came on at half-time. So she's sitting on 88%. And Jenny Borlase, despite the workload, 22 from 29 at 75%.
Cassie Mogg working a nice 1-2 with Alex Hodge to get her first goal.
Sorry, I think we did make the comment in that 3rd quarter that Amy Roberts was starting to get the measure of Purser and coming away with more possession.
Borlase is hurting out there, I think. She just looked like she'd lost a dog when that ball was turned over.
Don't say that.
Mogg.
And the applause comes from Alex Hodge. The Thunderbirds trying to rejig the rhythm they had earlier in the match. Came off the court just before half-time, looking like they would nudge the margin out to be a healthy one, and they were under pressure in the 3rd quarter.
Cassie Mogg shot 8 from 12 in the 2nd half when these two last met. Match that the Thunderbirds won, of course, by 7 in the end. Borlase, Cobb. Oh, Hubbards nearly lost the handle.
Harvey denying Borlase the drive for the post. Now she's got the back drop, but just congested in front of her. Cobb finds the way, though.
Through a sea of arms, she finds a skipper. And 6 is the margin. And we've had 2 minutes in the last quarter. Go, says Borlase.
That's what she's trying to do, encourage Cobb to pick the drive up earlier to the circle. It just opens the space quickly. It pulls the defenders.
Hubbards. Oh, Harvey knew it was going that way. She reads the play beautifully. Harvey at the height of her powers, I think, Anne.
Oh, she's in fine form and arguably the best defender, goal defence in Australia. And the Adelaide papers would have us believe the world.
Well, she's in the world's best team. And the starting goal defence, she's probably got a fair case. And with all respect to Bernice Menny and Linda Vanganar across in New Zealand, I think Harvey's got their measure. Now, who's that off? It's still with the Thunderbirds. Harvey, so works the corner from Hodge to Sanders. Now Hodge again. And Mogg.
The switch coming too late from the Ravens defenders. They were sagging towards the ball, unaware of the shooter dropping behind.
So the lead is 8 and a long way back for the Ravens. They've got to get a run on here. Oh, Grant. Oh, well.
A line ball call.
How do you interpret that one?
Taking possession on the ground. Hodgson must have judged that she was rising from the ground.
It's an interesting one, isn't it?
Yeah. You could see, though, if we can get a replay, that Grant was aware she couldn't take possession of the ground. She was desperately trying to get up. So here she hits Harvey, hits the deck, thinks, oh, better get up quick, smart. Was on the ground when she took it.
Borlase went early on the toss. And
a little ugly between Borlase and Harvey. There's certainly no thought for sparing the body. And in fact, if you watch the players carefully, most on court are now taking the ball and trying to protect space as they take it, because the bodies are flying through after the catch.
Consider that Harvey and Borlase have just spent a week together on the same side in New Zealand. Doesn't matter now, the two opposing skippers of these fierce rivals. Mogg. Delaney, goal.
Mogg, one-hand offload to Sanders. Nice skills from the Thunderbirds goal shooter.
Good
And
take from her.
yeah.
She's putting in is Cassie Mogg. Trudy Henderson, a resigned look.
And if you wonder why those penalties are being taken not in line with the player out of play, they can be taken in line with or back from, as long as you don't cheat ground forward of the person out of play. Oh, it's pretty.
Harvey having a whale of a game. Hodge, Squire. They're just looking a bit good, Thunderbirds.
And what's impressive about that type of play is not just the intercept, but the support play around it. And the Thunderbirds confident when they take one, there's always someone backing up.
Halfway through the last, and they've kicked it out to 11, Thunderbirds. Should not be beaten from here. Hodge.
Contact goalkeeper.
Cassie Mogg has only missed one. 5 from 6 now. And making the most of her opportunity. Grant. Drive, says Borlase. It's not working out for them.
Oh, smart work, Cassie Mogg, knowing the drive would be coming behind her from Delaney to the post. Keeps it alive, flicks it up.
Delaney. They're just carving them apart in this passage.
Contact goalkeeper.
Delaney's put up 25 from 30, so that's a fine performance from her in goals.
Well, 12-4, the Thunderbirds lead this quarter.
Contact goal defense, penalty pass. You're right, shooter.
Huppets is okay, comes up with a smile and a dose of embarrassment.
Which is watching the half-time entertainment too closely.
The gymnast.
Wants to be part of the troupe.
Sanders centre pass, Hodge, and Sanders will not quite get her back. Even she is not that quick.
Well, the scoreline is not going to do any justice to the Ravens' fight back in the third quarter.
Roberts, Browning.
Wing attack.
Here's Cobb. Borlase. Oh, and it's through the hands of Cobb. So she might only do one of those every 3 matches, but it's just not working out for the Ravens in this last quarter after they came back so gamely in the third. Maybe they gave all they had to give. Well, the Thunderbirds steeled themselves for the last. Harvey. Harvey and Borlase getting a little frustrated with each other as 2 more players hit the deck. Sanders
tired, looking tired, and must be sore. She's not one to complain.
Very fit, very quick, and runs into Grant.
Yeah, Grant propping suddenly, and Sanders running up the back, and really hurts at the end of a game. And neither of those players could be criticised for not putting out for their teams.
And look at the clock, realise there's only 5 minutes to go. Hurts a little less if you're winning, I think. And there's going to be a quick change here between Borlase and Huppets, which they can do.
And Pat Micken
in an injury break.
Using the rules well. A break for injury, she can make a change, positional change, and the Thunderbirds just consulting as to whether they will make an adjustment to match that, and they're not. They'll keep it as it is.
Is Harvey unworried?
Of course, whilst the win looks out of reach for the Ravens, the margin is important. Should the Ravens end up locked with another team on the ladder, the for and against is all important, so they really need to keep the percentages up.
Delaney, oh, I was hoping Hodge was going to read her thoughts there, but it was a messy one. Here's Huppets, Cobb flying down court. A little bit of a break there, giving them a chance, suck in some big ones and try and kick it home the last 4 minutes. Borlase leaves it for Huppets. But, they've been few and far between this last quarter. They've only scored 6 to their opponent's 14. Well, Audine Cobb looks at the umpire, gets no help. And the umpires are struggling to keep up with the passage of the ball down court that time. It flew.
Well, that all too easy for Jackie Delaney. Roberts just allowing the door to open.
Sanders once more to Hodge. Grant and Sanders, good contest. And Sanders coming off second best that time. Cobb.
Oh, it's open at the post. It's unseen. Borlase home alone under the post. And now, of course, the time has allowed the Thunderbirds defenders to collect themselves and a little bit harder.
Borlase trying to steal a foot or two.
No, you're fine. Where you were, thank you.
Joan Hodgson's trying to set it.
Off Thunderbirds, Raven throw-in.
So it's off the Thunderbirds. Ravens throw-in, says Joan. Oh, it's flying, flailing arms out there, Anne.
Yeah, you could confuse the fact that they'd have longer to run, but they're playing the game at a pace that you'd normally open up with. Kath Harvey in full flight then.
So at quarter time it was 14-9 Thunderbirds. Then by 9 at halftime, 29-40. It was back to 6 at three-quarter time. But it's by 14 now.
Stick down, Raven throw-in.
Sutter giving everything.
Sarah Sutter trying to keep it alive, but it's a Ravens throw-in. Certainly throwing a step into her work. Not scared to make the run right into the corner of the third, well out of the goal circle.
Thunderbirds looking for another. It's Hodge. Back to Squire. Delaney. Tapped out by Danny Grant. So 2 minutes to go. Thunderbirds can ride in another win here. And they're building a good percentage booster. Because they may finish equal top with perhaps Melbourne Phoenix or Sydney Swift. So they also want to be sure to make this win as good as possible, just as the Ravens want to keep the margin down. Adelaide Netball fans would love to see their two teams in the semis, double their chances of a win. Melbourne Phoenix, of course, the defending champions from '97. 90 seconds left. Hodge, Delaney, Cassie Mobb hasn't seen much of it in the last couple of minutes. Here's her chance. And it crawls in for her 8th from 9. Just coming on in this last quarter to have quite an impact. Huppets. Oh, putting Borlase under a little bit of pressure. Oh, I think the Ravens captain knows this one's gone. Delaney chases down her own rebound, has another go and still can't make it. Both from fairly substantial range though. Browning. Harvey still full of running. What an athlete.
Contact, wing defense.
Delaney. 29 from 36 for Jackie Delaney as we're inside the last 60 seconds. Borlase. Huppets should shoot from there. Huppets 12 from 14, so she's had a good impact also since coming on at half-time, replacing Anna Colbeck. Delaney makes it look easy, and she gets the last of the game. Thunderbirds too good. Ravens gave it everything. Looked like they could make a game of it after closing the gap to 6 at three-quarter time after it had been 9 at half-time. But 59-45, the Thunderbirds win it. And I think it's hard to go past their captain, Kath Harvey. What a game she's had. But really, 7 fine players out there and 1 on the bench in Sharon Purser. Also made her contribution in the first 3 quarters. 21 from 30 did Purser shoot. The stats generally favouring the Thunderbirds, with the exception of the penalties, actually. 8 more they conceded, but 8 more intercepts they took. So their defence really did the job today, and it forced 6 more turnovers out of the Ravens as well. So 18 against 12, and 20 more attempts. The Thunderbirds, 76-56, and they won it 59-45. And I think we do have to give credit to all players up and down the court for the Thunderbirds, but particularly their defence. Here's Ann Sargent.
Thanks, Steve. Well, Sarah, just the quarter in New Zealand. You look like you were pleased to be out there playing tonight.
Yeah, no, it was great to have a full game out there with the girls. It's great to be back with the Thunderbirds. And I only got a quarter in New Zealand, so I was a little bit disappointed, but it's unreal to play 4 quarters.
Well, we thought that you made your case well tonight. It was a fine game from you, and the combination with Kath Harvey really is something impressive.
Yeah, no, I love playing with Harps. We've got such a good understanding, and the whole 7, we've got a very good defence coming down the court, so it makes it very easy for us defenders. But no, Catherine is a great player to play with.
Why the change in your mid-court for the start of the match? Hodge moving to centre and Sanders to wing attack?
Oh, we just thought we'd give Beck a go at wing attack. I mean, Australian selections are coming up for Sunday, so we thought we'd give Beck a go, and she can play wing attack, and we just want to also have that versatility in the mid-court.
You look like you were going to nudge that margin out well and truly by half-time, but the third quarter, the Ravens really came back at you. Were you surprised by the heart in them?
Yeah, we were. I mean, that was a great effort by them. It was very disappointing in us. I mean, when we get up, we sort of just don't keep taking them. That's what we have to work on. Marge will, you know, be hard on us at training, but it was a great last quarter.
Well, you finished off like champions and proved your case. Still top of the table. Congratulations.
Thanks very much, Anne.
There's more netball action tomorrow morning when Simone Thurtell and Monica Krafczyk bring you the Melbourne Kestrels Sydney Sandpipers game from 9.
If the Kestrels are to win tonight, Toms will combine with Avellino and O'Connor for the Sydney team. Kennedy and Garbutt have played some dynamic matches in 1998. Expect to see some more of the same tonight as they try and shut down Anderson and Abby Tier, who joins the Kestrels starting lineup. On the coaching bench, it's Marg Lind for the Kestrels and Marg Corbett for the Sandpipers.
Well, personally, and probably I'm speaking on behalf of Shelley, we're feeling a bit tired, but the team itself have had a week's rest, yes, but the training has been picked up a bit this week, worked on a fitness and that, but it's because of the break, we've had a bit of time to recover, so I don't think it's really going to matter that much tonight. Sandpipers will probably be in the same boat as us, with a few players out with the B team as well, so I think we're both pretty even.
Okay, well, the week's break's been really good for us. We've come together as a team. We were disappointed in our last match, and we know we've got to watch their attack end. They've been working really well together, and their defence as well has been quite good. So we'll be working together as a team, and we're quite confident in our ability tonight, and so we think we'll be fine.
And a great crowd here at Waverley, really eagerly anticipating this match between the Kestrels and the Sandpipers. If you'll remember, in round 2, both these teams met and it was a 53-all draw. But at one stage, the Kestrels had a 16-goal lead at that match and totally blew it. That'll be in the back of their minds in this match. And Monica, what's going to be crucial tonight, or who are the key players, do you think, in this match tonight?
Umpires at the moment on the side of the court, they're Jane Cross and Kirsten Lloyd. And just getting back to your question, Simone, I think the crucial aspect would be for Jocelyn Bright and Nick Cusack to sink those goals. And we saw that in the first round, how Melbourne Kestrels really did have the edge over the Sydney Sandpipers.
Well, the Sandpipers have won the toss. They'll take the first centre pass. Carissa Toms with the ball in her hands. Time's been called. So the Kestrels make their way to their positions.
I'm on the whistle.
And the game is away. The Sydney Sandpipers in the spearmint and royal blue. They'll be running from left to right of your screen. The Melbourne Kestrels, they're the ones in orange and blue. And they're running right to left. So the Kestrels come away with that first turnover. Cusack onto Bryant, across the circle to O'Donnell.
Got a court throw.
Tried to find Nikki Cusack there, and it's a big happy birthday to Nikki Cusack today. I'm sure she'll be looking to put in an extra special effort in this match as well. So far, neither team being able to sink a goal.
Sandpipers putting up one shot, not successful. Nikki Cusack on screen. 29th of May, 19-something she was born.
Yes, we won't give that away. As Anderson lines that one up, just a little off target, bounced around the rim there and didn't manage to fall through. We see Abby Tier join the court, take to the court for the Sandpipers. As that one bounces out for Anderson again. We haven't seen Tier in a shooting role so far this competition, but she's a member of the under-21s Australian squad, so quite a talented player. And still, we've had around 2 minutes in this match and no score on the board. Can Abby Tier change that? Oh, no, that one rolls out again, and great rebounding there from Kennedy.
Sandpipers with majority of shots. They put up 4, not successful. Had a lot of play in the Sydney Sandpipers forward line.
Richardson to Cusack. Works with Richardson. And there's the first goal of the match. Nicole Cusack gets the Kestrels off to a great start.
Off hands there, Toms. Waiting for play to set up on the sideline. Melbourne Kestrels through Melanie Vivian, takes it on to Cusack again. Bryant sets it up at the post. Couldn't keep the balance. Top of the circle, O'Donnell. Going in Harbour, gets picked up for the contact.
Strong work there from Harvey to come up with that turnover in possession.
And O'Donnell doesn't look happy with that call either.
Finnan onto Toms. Avellino, we see her back in that wing attack role for the Sandpipers. Anderson, high ball to Toms. Quick dish off to Tier. A little congested in the circle at the moment. But that's a nice goal there from Megan Anderson. Last round she shot 63%. She'll be looking for a little better than that in this match. But that's a good start. Oh, intercept pass there. Just couldn't quite get the handle on it. Peter Kennedy. Avellino, long pass to Toms. Into Anderson. Ooh. She thought about that one. Back to Toms. Just kept the foot grounded. So it's 2-1 to the Sandpipers.
Sandpipers 2 from 6. Kestrels with the 1 shot and 1 goal.
Vivian onto Richardson. Good ball into Bryant. And that one drops in for Jocelyn Bryant. She levels the score at 2-2.
Melbourne Kestrels crowd fairly enthusiastic about that, Simone. Good support here from Melbourneites.
And this team do get good support at every match that they play here at Waverley. It's a great venue for netball.
Good support system too from the Melbourne Kestrels administrators.
Cusack. Kennedy. O'Donnell. Bryant. Bounces into Cusack. Oh, high trajectory on that one for Nicole Cusack, but just a little too high. It totally missed the net. So the Sandpipers, just a little bit messy out there at the moment. Pass is not quite sticking. Anderson. Toms. Into Anderson. And that one goes down for the Sandpipers.
Anderson making good movement to Carissa Toms. There she is in the pocket. Toms waiting for it. Anderson cuts back in front of the defender, takes it from Toms, offloads the shot and scores.
Great use of Jocelyn Bryant's height there by the Melbourne Kestrels. And the scores are level again at 3-3, but not a very high scoring match so far.
A bit messy at the moment too, Simone. Not much fluency in the forward lines. Defenders doing well, Garbutt and Kennedy.
Do you think that's perhaps, Monica, because they have had that break from competition?
Yes, and I think too, when you look at the lineup, Avellino went away to New Zealand. We've mentioned before O'Donnell, Cusack, Toms, all of those players. It does take a while to settle. You've been playing with different players. Your training drills have been different. The surroundings have been different. And 2 weeks away from the action, it just take a while to catch up on.
It's the Kestrels with the ball at the moment. O'Donnell into Cusack. Finnan doing everything she can to put her off. But Nikki Cusack remained focused and levels the score at 4-all with under 10 minutes left in this first quarter.
Vivian gets picked up for causing contact. So O'Connor, Toms, Tia, over to Avellino, Toms.
Shooters looking to get free and they couldn't, and Toms has had to throw it away.
That was effective play again from Garbutt and Kennedy. They really shut down the attackers in front of them, didn't allow the ball to cross the circle.
That long shot just rims out for Jocelyn Bryant.
Ooh, almost a step there from Finnan, but she gets away with the pass.
Finnan onto Tia. Toms double teaming on Anderson by Garbutt and Kennedy, but it was a holding infringement. Allowed Megan Anderson to get back into the circle and take that shot, but she's short with it.
Good hands from Garbutt, got the deflection. Kestrel's backing up, going to attack through O'Donnell.
Contact on Finnan. O'Donnell out to Cusack. Over to O'Donnell, but back into Cusack quickly. Bryant trying to get free in the circle to get a better position, and that one just goes over the baseline there for the Kestrels. So now it's the Sandpipers. Toms, long throw through the middle to Tia, onto Avellino, but great intercept there from Narelle Garbutt. I don't think we've seen a match that we've covered that Garbutt and Kennedy haven't had superb efforts in goal for the Kestrels.
Two young defenders creating a few headaches for a lot of the National League forward lines. As we see Toms go down in the goal circle, she's taking some time to come up as the Kestrels score a goal.
Melbourne Kestrels 5 lead the Sydney Sandpipers 4, and Carissa Toms taking a bit of time to get off the floor. She seems to be okay.
A bit perhaps slippery at the moment. Cusack almost losing her footing, but she regains it very quickly. Takes the shot.
And that was a great pass by Nicole Richardson, which set up that goal for Nicole Cusack. So the Kestrels out by 2 now. Have just extended the lead to 6-4.
Kestrel's shooting percentage much better at the moment, 6 from 8. Sandpipers 4 from 10 attempts. Great take there from Kennedy.
Vivian back to Garbutt. Kennedy, O'Donnell. Bryant tries to find Richardson, but again, it's just, and that's perhaps, we've seen Richardson there run into the back wall. If we have any criticism about this venue, it's at the runoff on either end of the court.
Not much room at all for players to run off. There's Bryant, over to the back wall.
Oh, she almost ran
lines it up, and the wall is okay.
And the support structure there as well went rather close to the head, but we're glad to see she's okay. She didn't quite contact. And at the other end, Megan Anderson has put another one on the board for the Sydney Sandpipers. So the difference now just 1. Kestrels out 6. Sydney Sandpipers 5. O'Donnell into Bryant.
Oh, good.
Cusack.
Good pass there.
And that one just rolls in. So back to 2, that lead. Toms onto Avellino.
Avellino in at wing attack here today. Had a few runs at goal attack. Had a few runs sitting on the bench as well for the Sydney Sandpipers.
6 goals from 10 attempts for Megan Anderson. She keeps the Sandpipers in touch. Just 1 in it at the moment.
Good
7
take.
plays 6.
Sorry, Simone, good take from O'Donnell. She really was behind the transverse line some way, and the centre pass was released, and she made up metres in no time. So a lot of runs still left in the legs of Shelley O'Donnell.
They're making Richardson work a little harder tonight, though. She's had quite a few that she's had to run down or stretch that extra couple of centimetres for. Nicole Cusack gets another one in for the Melbourne Kestrels. 8 plays 6.
Hang on.
We're just calling that one back. Sandpipers underway. Toms onto Avellino. High, fast ball into Tia. She was going over the baseline, so threw it back in court, and it went to Richardson for the Kestrels. So the Kestrels with the turnover. Richardson onto Cusack. Throws it back in because she was going to infringe. She just explains that to her partner, Jocelyn Bryant.
Time, please.
As we just wait, time's being called as the ball is brought back. Every second counts in such a fast-moving game. But the Sandpipers come away with it through Tia. High ball, she was looking for Toms, but fantastic intercept there from Richardson. Garbutt onto Cusack. Melanie Vivian will take it onto Cusack. Bryant.
Cusack finding form here in this first term as well. Started a bit sluggishly, but doing quite well here at the moment.
Contact on Christine O'Connor. Shelley O'Donnell will take it again. Into Cusack. And that one's on target. So the difference now 3. Melbourne Kestrels 9 play the Sydney Sandpipers 6.
Cusack 7 from 8.
And what a fantastic series she had in New Zealand as well. Really stepped up to the line when it was needed. Handled the pressure extremely well and has continued on here tonight as well. Everybody on a bit of a break there. Tia, but it's another turnover to the Kestrels through Garbutt. Onto Vivian. O'Donnell into Cusack. She's looking for support here. Kennedy manages to reap it in. Richardson onto Bryant. It's a bit of a longer shot, but she gets it. Way on target there. 11 plays 6. The difference now 5 in favour of the Kestrels.
Kestrels methodically working that down from the defence and used almost all players down court, and Bryant polishes it off nicely with a goal. Margin out by 5 now.
Cusack. That one was all net. Very sweet indeed for Nikki Cusack. And there we have an interested spectator. That's Jill McIntosh, the Australian coach. She, of course, is here tonight having a look at the girls playing. Of course, the Commonwealth Games team has to be selected for September. So there's that added bonus for all those players on court, especially the Australian members, to have a good one in this match. At the moment, the Melbourne Kestrels out by 5. They're on 12. The Sydney Sandpipers on 7.
Cusack and O'Donnell working together well. Oh, that was good work there. Richardson stayed onside. Cusack finishes it off. Great work again by the Melbourne Kestrels.
The
13 plays 7.
Sorry, Monica, the height of these goals from Cusack, they're going up and up.
Finnan stretches, Cusack puts it up, and the shot was successful.
Contact is on O'Donnell. So the Sandpipers come away with it through Toms. Onto Tia. Contact off the ball on Richardson. Into Anderson. And that one's good for Megan Anderson. 7 goals from 11 attempts for her so far. 13 plays 8. Just over a minute and a half remaining in this first term as Finnan gets hands to it.
Cusack comes away with it. Yes, there's a contact called. Finnan trying to distract Bryant's shot there, but she was too close to the post. 14 plays 8.
Marg Lind will be very happy with the start her team have made. But as we said, in round 2, they got out to a similar start and just lost it all in the final quarter. And how often we have said in this competition that teams fall away in that final quarter. They don't play the full 60 minutes. Richardson back to O'Donnell. Onto Richardson, into Cusack. And that one falls in for Nikki Cusack. 10 from 11 for Nicole Cusack. 10 goals out of the 15 for the Kestrels. She's continuing on that fabulous form that she had in New Zealand. Under a minute remaining in the first term. So both teams, if they want to get extra goals on the board, are going to have to be quick. Vivian onto O'Donnell. Bryant out of the circle, tries to find Cusack. Cross into Richardson, who finds Bryant. And that was a nice piece of work there from the Melbourne Kestrels. 16 for the Melbourne Kestrels play the Sydney Sandpipers 9, and the timekeeper is out of her chair. Oh, actually, it's his chair. Sorry about that, Mr. Timekeeper. He's running to the baseline. They'll have to be... I was going to say they'll have to be quick, but in fact, time has been called here at Waverley. It was a bit of a scrappy first quarter there. I'm sure both coaches will have lots to say at the quarter-time break. But it is the Melbourne Kestrels 16 ahead of the Sydney Sandpipers 9.
Carissa Toms there on screen. She had quite a good first quarter, but as we expected, Mark Corbett has made some changes to the Sandpipers as Tom gets us underway for the second quarter.
First quarter stats saw Kestrels, Bryant, 6 from 8, 75%, Cusack, 10 from 11, 90%, overall team shooting of 84%. For the Sydney Sandpipers, Anderson, 7 from 12, 58%, Tier 2 from 5 on 40%. Their overall team shooting was 53%. Sorry, I called out that first one, I think 61% instead of 58%.
She actually just got a goal in this second quarter, so that has updated the statistics as Jocelyn Bryant gets another one for the Kestrels. Kestrels 17, Sandpipers are 10. Let's just run through those changes that we've had in the first quarter. Christine O'Connor has come off for the Sydney Sandpipers. Danielle Harvey has moved from goalkeeper to wing defence. Vicky Roberts has come off the bench, and she's now playing goalkeeper. Sandpipers through Avellino. Cross court to Toms, but it's been intercepted by Vivian. Good work there. Sandpipers just a little frustrated trying to get that ball into the circle. Contact is on Bryant there. So Roberts onto Harvey.
So I'm laughing because Cusack, umpire Jane Cross, called Bryant, but actually it was Cusack that contacted.
And interesting tonight, our umpires are Jan Cross, but also Kirsten Lloyd. And Kirsten comes from New Zealand. She's here in Australia on an umpires exchange program. So welcome to Australia, Kirsten. There she is on screen, officiating for us tonight.
O'Donnell sets it up through onto Cusack. Cusack puts it in for the Melbourne Kestrels. 18 plays 10. Good lead here from the Melbourne Kestrels, leading by 8. Their centre pass.
Sandpipers certainly wouldn't want it to get any larger than an 8-point lead. And they do come away with the turnover here through Toms.
Good take from Avellino.
Back to Toms, and the Sandpipers will lose Carissa Toms. After this match, she's going back to England to be with her husband, Richard, who plays rugby over in England, and that will be a blow for the team.
Speaking to Carissa over in New Zealand, Simone, and she was counting down the sleeps to get back to her husband, so she's very excited. Whilst I'm sure the Sydney Sandpipers are sad to lose her for some time, she's just very eager to get back to her husband in England.
Nikki Cusack, that one off target, but there was a contact on the arm by Finnan. Both players, in fact, are standing aside. And Cusack doesn't make a mistake the second time. So the difference now 9. The Melbourne Kestrels 19 over the Sydney Sandpipers 10. Finnan out to Avellino. Onto Anderson. Abby Tier has that one.
Contact when the bench, pass. Sydney Sandpipers putting a lot of pressure as they move into the forward line. A lot of congestion in the pocket. There was nothing really offering back on the other side of the court. As we say that, Tier puts it in for the Sydney Sandpipers.
Abby Tier 3 from 7, and we've got plenty of spectators here, and it's great to see the families. Lots of young supporters here of the Melbourne Kestrels, a lot of them with signs and banners that they've made during the week, and the Kestrels really do appreciate that support. O'Donnell onto Cusack. Nikki Cusack continues on her way. She's only missed one so far, 13 from 14 attempts. The lead now 20-11 for the Melbourne Kestrels.
Anderson's shot hits the top of the post. Bounce back out, but off hands last was Melbourne Kestrels. Stays in the forward line of the Sydney Sandpipers. Missed again, rebounded. Nicole Richardson in centre for the Melbourne Kestrels, an Australian invitee, in conjunction with a few other players in the National League. Rebecca Sanders, Waveney Senor and Ingrid Dick are going over to the AIS in a few weeks' time. There's Bryant again, chooses to go into the pocket. Richardson couldn't take it in.
We said a little earlier on in the first quarter that Richardson's really had to stretch for some of those passes tonight. That one just a little too far for her to pull in. But it's the Kestrels on the attack through Bryant onto Richardson. High ball tries to find Cusack. Finnan's there to get in away, but it's still a Kestrels ball.
Good move by Coach Margolin to put Richardson into centre to save the legs of O'Donnell. We've seen O'Donnell work wing attack. She's played that in the Australian team, but
has run the centre for the Melbourne Kestrels on occasions.
As we see there for the turnovers, the Melbourne Kestrels have come up with 8, while the Sydney Sandpipers have doubled the Kestrels' turnovers with 16. As we see Garbutt try and chase that one down, she couldn't quite get to it, so Toms now into Anderson. But it's coming back to the Kestrels for Garbutt. Onto Vivian. Richardson, O'Donnell. Cusack. Tried to get that one into Bryant. Sandpiper's fingers got in the way. Will be a Kestrels throw in though. So Cusack finds O'Donnell on the edge of the circle. Bounce pass into Bryant. And a nice goal there for Jocelyn Bryant. So the lead now 10-21 to the Melbourne Kestrels play the Sydney Sandpipers 11. And Mark Corbett's really going to have her work cut out for her at half-time. She needs to find a formula on court and a combination that will slow down this Kestrels team. But at the moment, as Jocelyn Bryant puts another one in for the Kestrels, they don't seem to have any answers. Toms onto Harvey. Tia. Toms.
Oh, Evelina offloads very quickly. Tia turns around, steps it in, puts it up. 8 3/4 minutes remaining this second term. Kestrels 22 plays the Sydney Sandpipers on 12.
O'Donnell onto Richardson. Finds Cusack. Into Bryant. That one just a little too hard. Comes off the back rim of the net. But Cusack is there for the rebound and puts the extra goal in. 23 plays 12. The Melbourne Kestrels with a commanding lead in this second quarter.
A lot of shots here tonight, Simone, have been a bit springy off the ring. I don't know if you've noticed, but they've hit and actually bounced back out.
As that one illustrates your point, Mom. Yeah. Good timing.
Thank you very much.
Vivian. Hard ball there from Kennedy into Richardson. Contact was on Bryant, so the Sandpipers come away with it after the Kestrels turnover. Anderson onto Avellino. Toms. Good ball into Anderson. Megan Anderson, 9 goals from 15 attempts.
Good work there from Toms in the forward line. She really did create the space. She let Richardson stay forward, went to the pocket, and used Anderson in the forward move.
Vivian. Good ball into Cusack. Oh. Just a slight dish off there to Bryant, who uses her height well. 24 for the Melbourne Kestrels, play the Sydney Sandpipers 13.
Jocelyn Bryant, 10 from 13, only missed 3.
Toms. With 7 minutes remaining in this second quarter, the Kestrels out to a great lead. It's now 10, though, with Anderson's goal, reducing that margin. 24 plays 14.
Came off Harvey, stays with the Melbourne Kestrels sideline. O'Donnell to take it. Combination we saw all through New Zealand in the last 9 days was Cusack and O'Donnell working it in well.
Cusack. And that one drops in for Nikki Cusack. She's having a good birthday so far. Kestrels 25, Sandpipers 14.
Cusack only missing 1 at the moment, 15 from 16.
Anderson as Richardson tumbles to the ground, clashes with Avellino, but she's on her feet again. Anderson takes the step to the side, but the shot is just a little too hard and it bounces out. But it was contact on Garbutt. So Tia gets another opportunity as we see Marg Corbett looking very worried, and rightly so, on the bench. She knew this was quite a crucial match for the Sandpipers tonight. She wanted a strong performance considering their last round match, which was against the Firebirds, where they well and truly were beaten 62-47.
Well, she would have some concerns because throughout the year she hasn't had a settled lineup, and after the first quarter she has made some changes already. Marg Lind.
Yeah, I was going to say, on the other hand, Marg Lind, although she's still screaming instructions to her players, she'd be rather impressed with the way her team have come out on court tonight. 5.5 minutes remaining in this first half. Time has been called here. Avellino perhaps has had a knock in the nose. She's with the physio. as the Kestrels take the opportunity to gather in the centre of the court. But there's Avellino. She does wear a mouthguard, Natalie Avellino, one of the few players who do, but it seems to be, don't know whether it's a knock in the teeth or the nose. Contact to the face.
She's in good hands, Natalie Avellino. She's with Leanne McKelsey, who is the Australian team physio.
Perhaps she's got a cold. It almost looks like she's eating a cough lolly there or something, blowing the nose. Maybe she just couldn't breathe for a bit there. But the crowd take the opportunity to start to cheer and dance, and in fact they're trying to start the wave to keep their team in front, and incredibly enthusiastic about this.
Replay we see.
Maybe a bit of an elbow there from Vivian as they both contested the ball. Avellino wasted no time in calling for the break.
And I think Avellino does wear a mouth guard. Yes, she does. She's popping it back in, so whether that was knocked. There's Vivian with her. The left elbow connects, yes, to the jaw, so contact made.
Avellino is okay, though. She's still on the court as Tia takes the tumble. And the game is again underway. Avellino into Anderson. That one's off target. Garbutt comes away with a good rebound through the hands of Vivian. Toms gets possession with 5 minutes remaining in the second quarter. The difference is 10. Kestrels 25, Sandpipers 15. But that margin has again reduced as Abby Tia puts that goal in. 25-16 now in favour of the Kestrels.
And that came off an Avellino deflection. Was backed up by the Sydney Sandpipers.
Maybe that timeout has given the Sandpipers a bit of a breather. Time to gather their thoughts as a team. Anderson with a good goal there. Very solid 11 from 19 for Megan Anderson. 25 plays 17, the Kestrels in front.
So the margin got out to about 10-11 in the second quarter. Is that right, Simone, I think? Yes.
In the second round match?
Yes, no,
I think
no,
so.
Yes.
At one stage, they did get it out to 16.
That's right, yes.
And I think the crowd know that, and that's why they're trying to keep their players pumped. There is a tendency sometimes, if you get a good lead, to sit back on your laurels and not quite play as hard as you would. But so far, we haven't seen that from the Kestrels. Still very committed in attack and defence.
Richardson advanced quickly to Cusack. The 1-2 play. High bomb from Nikki Cusack. 17 from 19. 27 plays 17.
Richardson onto Cusack. High ball there into Bryant. And the throw-in will be for the Sandpipers. So it was last off Bryant. Good work from Vicky Roberts.
Tia went to take it in. It just fell behind Anderson. Couldn't put it up, didn't Vivian. Richardson working it down. Good extension there from Harvey.
It's a good crowd here tonight. Around 1,000 or so, or in fact, perhaps 1,500. Not too many seats left in this venue. They had pre-sold 800 seats before the doors opened tonight. So that's a great indication of the support the Kestrels have. 28 plays 17. Kestrels in the lead. Anderson looks for Toms. Toms does a bit of a juggling act, but brings it in. On to Avellino. Finds Harvey. Good work from Vivian there to get fingertip to the ball. It's gone over the sideline, and Toms will throw it in for the Sandpipers. Avellino. Into Anderson. Ooh. Oh, and that one just rolls in for Megan Anderson. She brings that margin back to 10. 28 plays 18.
Cusack onto O'Donnell. Harvey goes over the top of her. O'Donnell held her body stance quite straight. Harvey had to curl herself around her, picked up the contact. On top of the circle, no, in the circle now. Brian has it. Roberts to the side. Cusack's there for the rebound. Brian had a fair amount of time to steady and put the shot up. Lucky to get another attempt at it. Close one indeed. Scores this time for the Melbourne Kestrels. 29 plays 18.
Carissa Toms starts us again for the Sandpipers onto Tia, who finds Anderson, has to go across circle to Toms while both the shooters make their way into the circle. The obstruction's been called on Richardson. She'll stand aside.
Contact, goal keep, pass or shot.
Yes, very definite contact there by Garbutt. penalty is centred in front of the goalpost.
29 plays 19, the difference 10. But the Kestrels with the chance to take it out to 11. Cusack, but Bryant solidly ran into Sharon Finnan there. Finnan had good position.
One might call that a shirt front, I would say. There it is, working forward. Bryant, she wants to go forward. Finnan sees it, lines it up. Robert, look at the stance on Roberts. It wasn't me. She hit me.
But down the other end, the turnover has come, and the Kestrels are on the attack with under 1 minute remaining in this second quarter, and a 10-goal lead to the Kestrels. Can they make it 11? O'Donnell into Bryant. She lines it up. Doesn't take much time, but it's all net for Jocelyn Bryant. So a good attempt there. Melbourne Kestrels have hit 30. Sydney Sandpipers are still on 19. Avellino onto Toms. That one's deflected by Kestrels' hands. So a chance for the Kestrels. They'll have to be quick, though, because there is only around 30 seconds remaining in the half. O'Donnell into Bryant. Roberts gets hands in there, and Bryant struggles to keep it under control. She does, and shoots a very good goal there, Jocelyn Bryant. 31 for the Melbourne Kestrels, plays 19 the Sydney Sandpipers. In last round, Jocelyn Bryant shot 91%. She's continuing on with a good work tonight. 14 from 18 as the timekeeper gets out of his chair, runs after Kirsten Lloyd. Sandpipers miss with that attempt, and in fact, that is the end of the first half here at Waverley. Another good one for the Melbourne Kestrels. Melbourne Kestrels 31 lead the Sydney Sandpipers 19. And the half-time statistics tell the Sandpipers' story, that is. In the penalties, 26 they've given away. That's 8 more than the Kestrels. Intercepts, relatively even, only 4 in it. Turnovers, though, there's another deciding statistic. 9 the difference, 23 to 14. The attempts even, or around even, 37 to 33. 31 out of 37 for the Kestrels, but only 19 from 33 for the Sandpipers. As we get ready to start the third quarter, Carissa Toms will take the centre pass. And as we expected, Marg Corbett has made some changes to her Sandpipers lineup. Natalie Sloan has moved to goal shooter. Megan Anderson has moved from goal shooter to goal attack. And Abby Tia has come off. She's now on the bench. So Anderson takes the first shot of the third quarter and is successful. 14 out of 22 attempts for Megan Anderson. Harvey there, runs back onside. Kestrels through Cusack, onto O'Donnell. Into Bryant. And Bryant starts the third quarter confidently. Melbourne Kestrels 32, out by 12 over the Sydney Sandpipers 20.
To half-time, Melbourne Kestrels had put up 37 attempts, 31 shots scored. Avellino is asking for time. So the shooting percentage for the Melbourne Kestrels overall is 84%. Check the replay, see what's happened to Avellino. She goes out, looks to have turned an ankle.
Has done the right angle here. Yeah. The ice has come out for Avellino as we take another look from another angle. Just twist that one as she tries to take it. Wasn't too much in the challenge from Vivian. I think it was just the way she landed.
So physio Leanne Mahalsey is putting a lot of work into Avellino tonight.
Yeah, she has had a few problems, knocked in the nose, but this one looks okay. Twisted right ankle, she's up on it. She's putting a little bit of pressure. O'Donnell's just asking Jan Cross here, I'm not sure what, just questioning a few things that have been happening. Taking the opportunity. Discussions all round here, Finn and O'Donnell. But Avellino's the one that we were all worried about. She's up on her feet again. So time has been called on. Finnan onto Toms, into Sloan, onto Anderson. And we have been more used to seeing Sloan and Anderson in the shooting roles for the Sandpipers. Be interesting to see how quickly they pick up the communication in the circle.
to the halftime break, when we looked at those stats, Simone, you did mention 37 attempts for the Kestrels, 33 attempts for the Sydney Sandpipers. So effectively they had a lot of the ball, but their shooting average is way down. 62% to halftime to Anderson and only 50% to Tier, which is probably why she was taken off.
Jocelyn Bryant, sorry, Mon. Jocelyn Bryant has 16 goals from 20 attempts. She's had good range tonight. Avellino onto Sloane. Toms, bounce pass to Anderson. Sloane was open and was calling for it, but the contact was on Garbutt, so she will get the attempt anyway. Centres the penalty and gets her first goal on the board. So 33 for the Melbourne Kestrels, 22 for the Sydney Sandpipers.
Vivian takes it on the transverse, a parallel ball coming to her. Richardson on to O'Donnell, and Finnan going through, was a bit late. Cusack sets it up. Defender was behind. She kept it there. Cusack polishes it off once again. 34 plays 22.
Toms to Avellino, who seems not to be too hampered by that ankle injury. Almost an intercept there from the Kestrels. Contact has been called on Avellino, so it is a turnover to the Kestrels. Garbutt will take it. Onto Kennedy. O'Donnell. Richardson. Cusack with a strong lead. Onto Bryant. Bryant will take the shot from where she is. And it was just a little too hard and bounced back out. Vicky Roberts trying desperately to pull that one back in, and she has been successful in obtaining possession for the Sandpipers.
Defensively, good work there from Roberts, keeping her body alignment in front of her attacker, but it's being turned over.
That was rather acrobatic there from Melanie Vivian. She did the tumble over the ball. We'll perhaps give her a 9.2 for that one. Oh. We're just glad that she's not injured.
I used to be able to do it when I was 3.
Yeah, but could you use the netball with it? As Cusack takes the attempt and just misses with that shot. So the Sandpipers with a chance to pull one back, but it was a step against Avellino. Footwork infringement there. It'll go to the Kestrels. O'Donnell onto Richardson. Cusack, quick ball into Bryant, who just couldn't handle it. Reflexes not quite quick enough, so Roberts with the throw-in from the baseline. Onto Finnan.
Just that pass there from Cusack. Good intercept there from Kennedy, but that pass from Cusack to Bryant. Cusack would have done that all week to Vicky Wilson in training drills, and sometimes players at this level have to pull back a little bit. Bryant, I know, has taken a few of those passes and done very well, but that one was bullet-like onto Bryant, just wasn't ready.
I'm often shocked with the speed that some of these passes are thrown into the circle and how well they do to get the hands up and catch them. Sandpipers through Toms onto Sloane. That one's short for Sloane, and Garbutt has rebounded strongly. So onto Vivian now, down to O'Donnell. O'Donnell's looking for an option. She finds Richardson. High ball from Richardson, but well pulled in from Cusack as well. Bryant now sets herself from quite a distance, but it's a good goal for Jocelyn Bryant. Melbourne Kestrels 35, Sydney Sandpipers 22, and the crowd love it, as do the cheer girls.
It was good work there from Bryant. There was a nice fluid motion in the shooting action. Couldn't pull that one in. Roberts on the goal line. Finnan.
10 minutes remaining in this third quarter. The Kestrels 35, the Sandpipers 22. Sandpipers on the attack. Sloane.
Hugging the sideline as well. They need to move it down the corridor.
And that one drops in for Sloane. She was right under the net. 35 plays 23. Kestrels out to still a commanding lead here in this third term. But Sandpipers look as if they've got a bit more spring in the step. Sloane is moving well in the circle. And she's on target with that one. So 3 attempts, 3 goals actually from 4 attempts for Natalie Sloane.
And whilst the moves at the half-time break were pulled by coach Mark Corbett to give the Sydney Sandpipers some drive up in the forward line, got to take into account too that the Melbourne Kestrels defenders have to adjust to 2 new players. Sloane and Anderson working well at the first few minutes of this third term.
That one drops in for Nikki Cusack. Kestrels 36,
Sandpipers 24. The margin is still 12, so almost halfway through this third term. It's an even quarter. Sloane will get another shot at it. Dishes off to Anderson, who had the better position and got the goal in. So 36 plays 25. Still quite a way to come back for the Sandpipers, but they've done it before, as we've mentioned previously. In the earlier round, 53 all. Melbourne Kestrels were leading at every quarter. Got out to about 16.
Solid work there from Vicky Roberts. It was a good rebound that she took. Has given her team the chance to pull back another of those goals.
Oh, well spotted. Well done. I'll get it.
No, it's under the table. Wait, we can't quite. Our commentary position is right on the sideline here. Time has been called because we're not quick enough to get the ball back onto the court. Daniel Harvey actually had to wait for us. It was quite a tumble that Peter Kennedy took, but she seems to be okay. She's back into the fray. As Anderson is short with the shot, Kennedy with a good rebound. Quickly onto Vivian, but Vivian...
Oh.
Sandpipers all just kind of went the wrong way there. Kestrel still with possession, although that one has gone over the sideline. Richardson couldn't pull it in. It was a little bit wide for us, so Roberts with the throw in.
Richardson again with another extension.
And those players, I think, are targeting the ABC people at the moment. That one went rather close to our corner camera, but they managed to keep it away. So O'Donnell now onto Vivian. Onto Bryant. Richardson. Lots of work there by Finnan on Cusack. She couldn't get away and, in fact, had to come out of the circle.
Richardson sets up play. Tom's next to her. Split there. Bryant doesn't give much option. Really didn't move away from her defender that far. There was still congestion with Roberts and Finnan.
Distraction landing. Now the goal.
Cusack puts it in. 36 plays 25. Nikki Cusack, 20 from 23. Once again, great shooting from her. Has only missed 3 to date.
And that one's thrown away by the Sydney Sandpipers. They really can't afford too many of those. They need to make every trip down court count at this stage. Peg back that lead in this third quarter and give themselves a chance in the fourth quarter. There's under 7 minutes remaining, only 6.5 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Cusack, good ball to Bryant. And Bryant finishes off nicely. Melbourne Kestrels 36, Sydney Sandpipers 25. And the Kestrels have the centre pass. Jocelyn Bryant, 18 goals from 25 attempts. A good effort from her in this match.
Contact keep.
And our ever-reliable statistician, Jenny Webster, here is keeping us intact. 13 rebounds to the Kestrels, 5 to the Sandpipers. That in itself gives them 8 turnovers there that have been very important for the Melbourne Kestrels.
Great work from Harvey. It was a turnover from the Sandpipers to the Kestrels, but Harvey managed to contain the damage and get the ball back for the Sandpipers. Sloane is lining up here. Lots of work from Kennedy, and in fact, she's called held. It's 3 seconds. The call goes against Sloane. Kestrels through O'Donnell.
Oh,
onto Bryant.
Finnan's
Finnan's gone down in the circle, but she's up again and takes that rebound with help from Vicky Roberts. Finnan quickly through the centre court onto Anderson. Avelina, great ball into Sloane. And a good goal for Natalie Sloane. 4 goals from 5 attempts. She's doing well in the shooting department. 39 plays 26.
O'Donnell holds it up. Richardson pulls back. Bryant comes all the way out of the circle. Oh, good movement there from Bryant. Good spotting from O'Donnell as well, because she had Cusack forward. Could see that Bryant had to run to the post and use that option.
Running Vicky Roberts ragged at that point. Good ball into Sloane, but she couldn't drag it down, so it's a turnover to Garbutt and the Kestrels.
Pace has picked up somewhat in this third term. Go back to the first few minutes of the game, and it was very slow. Took a while for the first goal to be scored, and now here in this third term, the ball's moving rather quickly down court.
It's a lot more fluent.
Sandpipers.
The ball will go to the Sandpipers, last off the Kestrels. Sloane not looking at Anderson. but the pass was accurate, and Anderson puts the goal in. So while the Kestrels have hit the 40 mark, Sydney Sandpipers are on 27.
There seems to be a better understanding between Sloane and Anderson in the goal circle. Whilst Coach Mark Corbett was trying Tier and Anderson as something different, Natalie Avellino in at wing attack's a good feeder. It wasn't working.
Penalties there. You can see 10 more to the Sandpipers. That's quite a bit of possession to give away to the Kestrels. 35 to 25 there. On the intercepts, the Kestrels have taken more intercepts. 5 more, 10 to 5. In the turnovers, Sandpipers, 32 there. Too many turnovers, although we are in the third quarter now. 40 plays, 28 at the moment. Sandpipers looking to reduce that margin, but they won't with passes like that, although
in line with
there's the contact that's been called.
And Avellino's going to take it right in front of the goal circle, and Sloane, Avellino working the 1-2 play. Sloane finishing it off. 40 plays, 29, so margin out to 11 now. It was 12 at the half-time break. They're peaking back in the third quarter.
Big effort needed from Finnan and Roberts to stop the Kestrels on this trip down the court. Bryant has missed with the first attempt. The contact is on Roberts. She'll stand aside. Jocelyn Bryant gets another attempt and doesn't miss with that shot. 41, the Kestrels play the Sydney Sandpipers 29. Avellino into Sloane, works with Toms. Good work there by the Sandpipers. And Sloane gets the goal. 7 from 8 for Natalie Sloane.
It was clean access there from the Sydney Sandpipers. Melbourne Kestrel defenders standing a bit flat-footed, and again Avellino wants the long option, uses it. Sloane turns it back down to the transverse. Finnan holds it up. Toms also will make a positive pass, and Anderson straight into the hands of the Melbourne Kestrels defenders. I think it was Richardson on that occasion.
O'Donnell onto Bryant. Across the circle from Bryant onto Richardson. Contact on Finnan. Cusack moves that pass, that penalty. Takes the shot. Lead back to 12 now. 42 plays 30.
Cusack 21 from 25 attempts.
Anderson onto Sloane. Long high ball to Toms.
Cards in the circle.
Toms going offside in the process of going into the pocket. Turnover in favour of the Kestrels. O'Donnell with a smile on her face.
She always seems to play with a smile on her face, Shelley O'Donnell.
During one of the Test series in New Zealand, I remember looking down court, and she did have a wonderful smile on her face because Australia at that stage were trouncing New Zealand, but New Zealand did come back.
Well, at this stage, she's got a smile on her face, and the Kestrels are trouncing the Sandpipers. I wonder if the Sandpipers can come back.
Send a player out.
Toms onto Anderson. She's going to take it from there. It's a long shot, and it is short. Rims out.
Good pressure by Kennedy and Garbutt.
And he's certainly enjoying the action. Bryant. Cross to O'Donnell. She does well to get the ball away before she loses balance. Richardson and Cusack combine. And Cusack with a lovely goal there. 13 the difference. 43 plays 30. Nikki Cusack, 22 goals from 26 attempts.
Into the last minute of his third term. Richardson holding it up. O'Donnell spots Cusack again.
Contacts on Roberts. Timekeeper is out of his chair. I think Brian will have plenty of time, though, to get this one in. She does. But I feel this will be the end of the third quarter before they can get the pass away, and in fact it is. Jan Cross, Kirsten Lloyd has called the end of the third quarter. The Melbourne Kestrels are commanding 14-goal lead. 44 for the Kestrels, play the Sydney Sandpipers 30. Margaret Corbett had plenty to say to her Sydney Sandpipers at the quarter break. They're behind by 14. Carissa Toms gets us underway, but immediately with a turnover. Quarter by quarter, we see 16 to 9 in the first quarter, difference of 7. They extended that lead in the second quarter, the Kestrels, to 12, 31 to 19, and again have extended that lead even further in the third quarter to 14. 44 plays 30, and that is the current score.
Body's going in hard in this last term. A few contacts being called at the moment. Look at the shooting there from the Kestrels. Good shooting from them. 73% Bryant, 84% Cusack. The Sydney Sandpipers, Sloane, 7 from 8 at 87%, 17 from 28, 60% for Anderson.
Contact called on Garbutt. She'll stand aside. Anderson had to think about it and then thought, yes, I can move that penalty in a little bit, or at least sideways, and she's successful with the goal. 44 plays 31. Cusack onto O'Donnell. Bounce pass into Cusack. Roberts with the contact. Cusack with the goal. 23 from 27 for Nicole Cusack. Melbourne Kestrels 45, Sydney Sandpipers 31. Anderson to Harvey, onto Sloane. She's looking for an option, back to Harvey. Avellino, Toms, Sloane, and great work from Richardson. Unfortunately, she couldn't quite keep it in the court there, and it will be a Sandpipers throw-in. Avellino onto Toms, into Sloane, good ball. Natalie Sloane, 8 goals from 9 attempts, so she's certainly been accurate since she came on.
Bryant holding up, yes, she was holding up her movement there in the forward line. Cusack just holding that ball nicely. A lot of space for Bryant to move into. Avellino on to Anderson. Sloane moves forward. Had Garbutt behind her. And Sloane successful. 46 plays 33, margin out by 13.
It was all net for Natalie Sloane as the ball is heavily contested between O'Donnell and Harvey. The contact is on O'Donnell. So Harvey onto Finnan. Tried to find Sloane there, but Garbutt, well read, was in the way. Vivian.
Contact.
Yes, Roberts dipping her shoulder on that forward move on Bryant. It was picked up by Jan Cross.
She's a little disappointed in herself, I think. Oh, Cusack. What a gorgeous goal that one was. Great trajectory, and it was all net. Mark Cusack, and Mark Corbett even applauds that one.
Well, Mark Corbett has had a long association with Nicole Cusack. Cusack playing for the Sydney Sandpipers in season 97, has moved over to Melbourne.
Highly publicised move, that one, as Jill McIntosh. She's looking pretty interested. I'm sure she likes what she sees from a lot of her Australian players out on court tonight.
Contact.
Bryant. Onto Richardson, into Cusack. No real pressure on Cusack there. They were both tagging Bryant. Nicole Cusack, 25 goals from 29 attempts. Kestrels, 48. Sandpipers, 33.
I wonder if she'll shoot as many goals as she is years of age today.
Well, we haven't given away how old she is, so
very interesting.
You can give that one away if you want, Mon, but I don't think I will.
I think she's gone way past it. How is that?
Avellino onto Anderson, back to Toms. In the backcourt, Harvey's trying to do up a shoelace quickly while it's down in her shooting circle. Anderson.
Construction landing. Play the penalty, that's it.
They're going to play the penalty. Anderson moves it away and gets the goal on the second attempt. 49 plays 34. Kestrels still continuing to keep that lead out to quite a good margin.
Great pass from Bryant to Cusack. Just as effective pass in the initial stages of the attack from O'Donnell to Bryant. So as Cusack runs back to her position, she's doing very well. O'Donnell to Bryant. She came through, and that was just speared onto Cusack on the goal line. Finnan came in too short, and Cusack once again has been successful.
The Kestrels have hit the 50 mark with 10 minutes remaining in the match, and again another great ball into Cusack. She scores another goal, 51 to the Kestrels, 34 to the Sandpipers. The communication between the Kestrels is just getting better and better, in particular Bryant and Cusack. As the season wears on, we're seeing that combination really working well together. This ball will go to the Sandpipers though. Roberts onto Finnan.
don't know where she was throwing that one. I think she thought Toms was going to make a move, but it ended up in space and the Kestrels came away with it. But good hands from the co-captain of the Sandpipers, Sharon Finnan there. Oh, and that one was going out to our vans in the car park, I think, but it hit the wall.
The idea was right. It was just a fraction too high. There was space there. Cusack, and again,
Contact, wing defence.
O'Donnell having to work in front of the taller player, Harvey. That would be hard. O'Donnell, whilst she's probably fairly petite to say on the netball court, the actual hands over the ball by Harvey would be causing O'Donnell concern because she wouldn't be able to see that clearly into the forward line. So her game would be based on just movement and working away from Harvey.
Melbourne Kestrels 52 lead the Sydney Sandpipers 34. Sandpipers really finding it difficult at the moment to get cleanly into the circle. And again, that one has gone against the Sandpipers.
Tom's picked up for the contact. Kennedy again onto Vivian, who's had a good game for the Melbourne Kestrels. Easy access. Richardson on the top. We see, yes, Sloane trying to keep the ball back in play, but contact, I think, thereafter.
Toms over the top to Sloane, who's back to Anderson. Anderson takes the long bomb. It's off target, but there's a penalty against the Kestrels. So Sloane manages to get that goal. 29 penalties against the Kestrels, 43 against the Sandpipers. Looking at those rebounds, as we've said, the Kestrels goalkeeper and goal defence, Kennedy and Garbutt, working very well, 11 rebounds. The Sandpipers, 6.
Oh, straight into the hands of Garbutt. Cusack back to Vivian, but that really wasn't to the advantage of Shelley O'Donnell. But Harvey picks up the contact, so O'Donnell in front of Harvey. Toms with the extension of hands. Richardson by herself, and both goal shooter goal attacks. The Kestrels stationary in positions, nobody going for the rebound except Vicky Roberts. She takes it. Avellino onto her co-captain Finnan, and there was a step there called by umpire Kirsten Lloyd over here from New Zealand.
O'Donnell onto Cusack. Back to O'Donnell. Certainly showing no signs of fatigue at the moment. Shelley O'Donnell, she's still giving it her all. Jocelyn Bryant is successful with that one. 26 from 37 attempts for Jocelyn Bryant. 53 plays 35 at the moment. As the long pass from Anderson into Sloane. But there is a penalty. Sloane advances that penalty sideways, gets the goal. 53 plays 36, but it's still a very commanding lead. The Sandpipers are going to have a lot of work to do in the week before their next match. I think Mark Corbett thinks she did a lot of work with her team in the break while the Australians were away playing New Zealand. There is Marg still calling out encouragement to her team. I'm sure there was no way she'd expect this type of result here against the Kestrels.
And unlike the previous round where Kestrels had the lead by 11 at the third quarter break, they have not let that lead go in this last term. They've been surging ahead.
There's under 6 minutes remaining in this match. If they are to do anything, it has to be quickly. Richardson out to O'Donnell, quick pass into Bryant. There was a contact from Roberts. And the goal is good for Jocelyn Bryant. Melbourne Kestrels 55, Sydney Sandpipers 36.
Cusack again, sorry, Bryant coming out on the advantage side. Bryant working a defender quite well, keeping her behind her. Cusack unattended, under the post. 56 plays 36, a commanding lead of 20 goals to the Melbourne Kestrels.
Kestrels winning this quarter by 6 at the moment. They've steadily increased their lead every quarter. And the crowd really appreciating the work from Kennedy and Garbutt here. And they have forced the turnover. Garbutt with a throw-in onto Kennedy. Through the mid-court, but she finds Finnan for the Sandpipers. Avellino onto Sloane.
Good shooting.
Nice goal there from Natalie Sloane.
56 the Kestrels, the Sandpipers 37. Cusack onto O'Donnell, over to Bryant. Roberts takes the tumble as she tries to get the feet working to catch up with Bryant. Good work from Roberts to get off the floor and be instrumental in helping that ball go back to her team. The other end, it's Anderson. Misses with that shot, just a little too much on it. So the Kestrels. Bryant can't handle it.
Throw in.
And it'll be a throw in to the Sandpipers. Roberts onto Harvey. Toms. Finnan. Might be an idea for our viewers to just keep a special eye on Carissa Toms for this last 3 minutes. Maybe the last time you'll see her until perhaps the Commonwealth Games, and she is such a special player. O'Donnell. Over to Richardson.
Construction.
Back to O'Donnell. On to Cusack. And it really has been quite a solid performance here tonight from the Melbourne Kestrels. Every player on court has been switched on.
Good smile there from Nikki Cusack, shooting 29 from 33. She takes it again, and I could see where she wanted Bryant to go, having a bit of a smile about it. Sandpipers working it down. Toms calling for somebody to come forward. Players moving away from the ball. Once that happens, you're dragging in the defender over the top. There's Sloan again. Good shooting from her since she's come on. 13 from 14. 57 plays 38, and just under 3 minutes remaining this last term, and might be a good time, perhaps a safe time, to say that Melbourne Kestrels have won this game.
Well, especially now that Jocelyn Bryan has put that goal in, and it's again a lead of 20. 58 plays 38. And the game, in fact, seems to just be slowing a little. Has been quite a fast pace. Sandpipers through Anderson, but it's a footwork infringement against Megan Anderson. So the Kestrels with the ball. Richardson has worked hard all match. On to Bryant, back to Richardson. Into Jocelyn Bryant. That one doesn't fall, and Roberts comes away with the rebound. Avellino. Bounce pass finds Sloan. Tried to find Avellino again, but that one just a little too far out of her reach. Sails over the sideline. Garbutt with the throw-in onto Kennedy. Finds Richardson. Quick ball back to Kennedy, onto Cusack. O'Donnell, high ball to Bryant. Roberts could see it. And in fact, the contact is on Bryant, so Roberts comes away with it. Toms onto Anderson. Jocelyn Bryant, 29 from 42, 69%. That's a solid effort from her, but Nicole Cusack, 29 from 33 at 87%. A great effort from her in this game. Cusack feeds the ball into Bryant. Bryant gets another one. Jocelyn Bryant, that's 30 goals for her in this match against the Sandpipers. 59 for the Kestrels, plays 38. And again, Bryant has another opportunity. As the contact is on Roberts, she'll stand aside with just a minute remaining in this match. Oh, no, in fact, yes, it is a contact on Roberts. And Bryant gets another goal. 60 they've hit, the Melbourne Kestrels. 38 for the Sydney Sandpipers. And nothing going right for the Sandpipers at all. Vivian comes away with that one, but as we say that, Harvey takes a tumble and manages to come up with possession for her team as Garbutt with a good intercept. And the Kestrels on their way again. Richardson.
You're offside, playing the ball.
Sandpipers shooters, we can see 13 from 14 for Natalie Sloan. She really has done quite well since she's come on. Perhaps should have been there from the start at 92%. Megan Anderson, 19 from 31 at 61%. That's a little down on what her last round shooting was. High ball across to Bryant. Throw in. And in fact, the timekeeper is spun up, and that is time as the crowd really responds to the Melbourne Kestrels here. It was a fantastic performance from them. Very solid. They showed some flair in the mid-court. They showed some speed, and they had the solid defence in the backcourt in Garbutt and Kennedy. as all of the players shake hands and cheer each other on. The final score here at Waverley was Melbourne Kestrels 60, the Sydney Sandpipers 38. And the Kestrels and Marg Lind, their coach, will be very happy with that effort indeed. In fact, that makes them equal with the Sandpipers on the round ladder on 7 points. The Kestrels 32 penalties, Sandpipers 48. Quite a difference there. The intercepts relatively even, only 5 in it. The turnovers, 7 more to the Sandpipers, but 40 for the Kestrels, so not too much in that either. Here we have the attempts. Kestrels really skipped away in that second half with their attempts. They made 60 out of their 77, while the Sandpipers only took 58 shots at goal and they made 38. So the final score there, the Melbourne Kestrels 60, the Sydney Sandpipers 38. And Monica Krafcek has a very happy Shelley O'Donnell, but in fact a very tired Shelley O'Donnell.
That was a very convincing win against the Sydney Sandpipers. Yes, we're really pleased considering how we went last time. 16 goals up at half-time and then managed to draw the match. So we were just really conscious of pushing ahead once we had a lead. Going into that last quarter, we were just aiming for 60 goals, and as you can see, that's where we got. So we're really pleased.
The game started very slowly, Shell. It really was. It took a very slow in the forward line defensively. That didn't seem to be happening. What happened at the quarter break? Was anything said?
It was just a really slow game all night, I thought. It was just really hard. We were trying to up the tempo, but I think Sydney was slowing it down as well. I think Carissa was walking back to the centre, which tends to sometimes slow it down a fair bit. And the way, you know, we just both played a really steady, slow game, which, I mean, it was really difficult to try and up the tempo. But we tried. But anyway, we've come away with a win, so we don't care how we played as long as it's a win on the board.
How are you feeling personally? We sort of laboured the point somewhat that the Australian players may be a bit tired, but it didn't seem to affect you as the game rolled on.
Well, yes, when I was warming up, actually, I was struggling a bit, and I thought, oh, this is going to be fun, and so I was quite glad that the tempo was so slow. But yeah, as the game wore on, I think that, you know, I got into the game, and yeah, I was quite pleased with my performance, considering that we only got back 2 days ago.
Good luck with the Americas tour, and good luck with Commonwealth Games selection as well.
Thanks very much.
That's it from Waverley, but be sure to join Steve Rebillard and Anne Sargent tomorrow afternoon for the All-Adelaide clash between the Thunderbirds and Ravens. That match at 5 o'clock. Then next Friday night, Monica and I will head to Sydney for the local derby between the Swifts and the Sandpipers. Join us at 10:45 for that match. On behalf of Monica Krafcek and all of the ABC crew, I'm Simone Thurtell. Good night.
Next on the McCall